Good day, everyone. I hope you're doing good and you're staying healthy today. And I'm looking forward to discuss with you the following areas: syntax and syntactic procedure, syntactical categories, phrase structure. But my presentation focuses on the sentence pattern under structural in models of analysis. We will be focusing on diagramming various sentence patterns using different diagramming systems. That is the tree diagram and Reed-Kellogg diagram. Now, before we start, why diagramming matters? Sentence diagramming forces learners to identify the logical connections between parts of the sentence. We have to know how different parts of speech work together to produce meaning. Now, let's define syntax. Syntax is the study of sentence formation. In linguistics, syntax refers to the rules that govern the ways in which words combine to form phrases, clauses, and sentences. Now, syntactic rules. English part of speech often follow ordering patterns in sentences and clauses, such as compound sentences are joined by conjunctions, or that multiple adjectives modifying the same noun follow a particular order according to their class, such as number, size, color, as in 6 small green chairs. The rules of how to order words help the language parts make sense, and that is syntactic rules. Now, to further understand the structure of sentence and how sentences become grammatical, we need to study the different categories and structure. The shared characteristics of words allow us to organize them into a relatively small number of groups, called syntactic categories. Syntactic categories are divided into two: the lexical category, which are noun, verb, adjective, preposition, and adverb, and non-lexical categories such as determiner, degree word, qualifier, auxiliary, and conjunction. Now, let's move on to the phrase structure. Before we go to how to diagram a sentence, we need to discuss the phrase structure. Sentences have a hierarchical structure in which words are grouped into successively larger structures. Members of each lexical category share certain combinational properties, and they form larger units, which are called phrases, with certain types of words. Now, the first phrase structure that we will be discussing is the noun phrase, or NP. A phrase composed of a noun as its head and the optional modifiers and determiners of the noun. Alternatively, may be composed of a single pronoun. This is the diagram. The noun phrase consists of a determiner and the noun. For example, the man. The is the determiner and man is the noun. Next is the verb phrase. A phrase composed of a verb as its head and including all the dependents of the verb such as direct and indirect objects, adverbials, and subject complement. This is the diagram, sample diagram. Verb phrase or VP consists of qualifier and verb. For example, never talk. Never is a qualifier and talk is a verb. Next is an adjective phrase or AP. A phrase composed of an adjective as its head and the optional modifiers of the adjective serves as a modifier of noun phrase. This is the sample diagram. AB consists of a degree word, this is the degree word, and an adjective. For example, quite similar. Quite is a degree word and similar is an adjective. Next is a prepositional phrase. A phrase composed of a preposition and its required complement, which must be a noun phrase. Okay, a prepositional phrase composed of a preposition and under a prepositional phrase could be a noun phrase, since noun phrase can be the complement of a prepositional phrase. For example, prepositional phrase composed of degree word and a preposition. For example, almost in. Almost is a degree word and in is a preposition. Now, how could be a noun phrase become a complement of a prepositional phrase? Of course, a prepositional phrase also consists of a noun. Now, let's take a look at this example. Prepositional phrase consists of a degree word, the preposition, and the noun phrase. For example, almost in love. Almost is a degree word. The head is the in, which is the preposition, and prepositional phrase consists of a noun phrase, which is the word love. Next, part of a phrase structure. First is the heads. In heads, each phrase is built around a lexical category. A noun phrase is around noun, and VP is around verb. The lexical category around which the phrase is built is called head of the phrase. Remember, it is not possible to have a verb phrase without a verb or an noun phrase without a noun. However, it is possible to have a phrase in which only the head position is filled. For example, noun phrase consists of a noun only, which is, for example, cats. She loves cats. Cats is the head, which is the noun in a noun phrase. Next, specifiers. In addition to the head, phrases may include a second word with a special semantic or syntactic role. Determiners, qualifiers, and degree-words are called specifiers. Specifiers mark a phrase boundary. In English, specifiers occur at the left boundary of the phrase. For example, in a noun phrase, the cats, very fast in adjective phrase, and almost in prepositional phrase. The, very, and almost are called specifiers. Next is the complements. Complements provide information about entities and locations whose existence is implied by the meaning of the head. For example, a vegetarian would never eat a hamburger. Now, the head is the word eat, and the complement is the naming the thing eaten, which is a hamburger. Complements are attached to the right of the head in English. That is one of the general rules. Now, take a look at this example. A verb phrase consists of a qualifier, a verb, and a noun phrase. Now, how will we figure out where is the complement? Since under verb phrase there is a qualifier which is never, and the verb or the head is the eat. Under verb phrase is also a noun phrase, which is a hamburger. A is a determiner and hamburger is a noun. Now, since complements are attached to the right of the head in English, it is the head and the complements is a hamburger. Remember, if the noun phrase is a complement of verb phrase, that is called direct object, a hamburger in this example. Now we have phrase structure rules. This is a special grammatical device for ensuring that specifiers, heads, and complements occupy the correct position in the phrase structure. The arrow means consists of or branches into. Now, in this example, or a phrase structure rules, the parentheses indicate optionality. For example, in a noun phrase, there is a determiner, adjective phrase, noun, and prepositional phrase. But remember, it is optional for a noun phrase to consist of a determiner, an adjective phrase, and prepositional phrase, but it is important to have the head or the noun. Next, verb phrase. Verb phrase consists of a qualifier, a verb, a noun phrase, and prepositional phrase. But these three, qualifier, NP, PP, are optional. Next is in adjective phrase. In adjective phrase, it consists of a degree word, an adjective, and a prepositional phrase. But these two, degree word and prepositional phrase, are optional. In prepositional phrase, degree word and noun phrase are optional, but it is important to have the head, the preposition. Now, let's generalize the rules. The structural similarities between NPs, VPs, APs, and PPs are the specifier always found on the left of the head and the complement is right of the head. Now, let's move on to the syntactic tree structure. This is one of the diagramming techniques or the diagramming system that will help us to understand the structure of the sentence. Now, I will give you an example. William Shakespeare wrote many amazing plays. William Shakespeare is the subject, and the predicate is wrote many amazing plays. Now, how will we diagram this sentence? Let's put an S, which is a sentence. Under sentence is a noun phrase and a verb phrase. This is the noun phrase, and this is the verb phrase. Now, under noun phrase is a noun, which is William Shakespeare. Okay, now we are done with the subject. Let's move on to the verb phrase, which is a bit complex. Under verb phrase is the verb wrote. That is the head of the verb phrase, wrote. Next, verb phrase consists of a noun phrase. And in noun phrase, it consists of a determiner and another noun phrase. Why? The determiner is many. And under noun phrase is another noun phrase, which is the amazing place. Under noun phrase is an adjective phrase and a noun. In adjective phrase, it consists of amazing, which is the head of an adjective phrase under noun phrase. And in noun phrase, it also consists of a noun, which is the head, and this is the place. William Shakespeare wrote many amazing plays. Now, if It is a bit confusing. I will give you a video of a more comprehensive example on how to do a syntactic tree structure. Next, another example is Romeo defended his honor. Romeo is the subject and the predicate is defended his honor. Now, let's put an S, which is a sentence. Under S is an NP MVP. In NP, that is a subject. Under NP is a noun, which is Romeo. Like what I have said earlier, it is possible to have a phrase in which only the head position is filled, like this: noun phrase, a noun, and Romeo. Next is a verb phrase. Under sentence is a verb phrase, which is the predicate. And under verb phrase is another verb phrase, which only the head position is filled. Defended. Defended is the head of the verb phrase. And under verb phrase is also a noun phrase. Why? There is these words, his honor. That is a noun phrase under verb phrase. There is a determiner, which is his, and a noun, which is honor. So that is how you diagram a sentence in a tree diagram structure. Next, let's discuss Reed-Kellogg diagram. Reed-Kellogg diagram is one of the means used to show and display the structure of the English language and how each word functions in a sentence. Now let's learn how to diagram simple sentences and prepositional phrase, which are the basics into diagramming compound, complex, and compound-complex sentences. The Reed-Kellogg system is a method for diagramming sentences that was commonly taught in grammar classrooms in the past. Now, this system was introduced in the 1870s by Alonzo Reed and Brainerd Kellogg. But first, let's remember these four types of lines. The horizontal line to write subject, verbs, and objects. The vertical lines to separate subject, verbs, and object. And diagonal lines to write modifiers, preposition, and articles. And the dotted vertical or diagonal lines for conjunctions. Now, these are the steps on diagramming. You have to draw a horizontal line and divide the horizontal line with a vertical line. For example, this one. Let's try to diagram this simple sentence. Trees grow. Simple subject goes on the left. Remember, simple subject goes on the left and simple predicate goes on the right. For example, the trees will be here and grow will be here, since this is the subject and this is the predicate. Now, to be able to understand more on how to diagram a simple sentence, just look into the pattern of the sentence. For example, the pattern would be SIV or subject and intransitive verb. I walked. I would be placed in the left side and walk will be placed on the right side, since this is the subject and this is the predicate. Now, what if there is two or more subject or predicate, or the compound subject or compound predicate? You have to draw a pencil diagram for the subject or predicate if it is two or more. For example, Mark and Marie teach. Mark and Marie is the subject which is compound, and teach is the predicate. You will draw a pencil diagram on the left side, and you will put mark here. In putting compound subject, make sure it is in chronological order. Since mark is the first subject, mark will be put here and Marie will be put here. Now, why there is a diagonal line and the word "and" here? Like what I discussed earlier. In writing conjunctions, you have to put a diagonal line here and put the conjunction. Now, do not forget to put a vertical line to divide the subject and the predicate. There is a vertical line and another horizontal line for the predicate. So the predicate is just one. You will put it here, teach. Now, what if there is there is a compound subject or compound predicate? You just have to also put or draw a pencil diagram for the subject and the predicate. That is a pencil diagram. Mark will be put here and Marie will be put here. You just have always remember to put a diagonal line here and put the conjunction. Next, do not forget the vertical line to divide the subject and the predicate. Hence, talk will be put here and teach will be put here. Also put a diagonal line and the word "and", which is conjunction. Next, what if there is an adjectives and adverbs? Adjectives and modifiers are placed on slanted lines directly below the words they are modifying. For example, young pine trees grow quite fast. Let's figure out in this sentence where is the subject and the predicate. The main subject and the main predicate. Of course, trees grow. Now, you will put trees on the left side and grow on the right side. And remember the horizontal line and vertical line to divide the subject and the verb or the predicate. Now, there is an adjective that modifies the word trees. Now, you have to place a slanted line directly below the words they are modifying. What words modify the word trees? Young or pine? Of course, both. Young and pine modifies the word trees. Now you have to put two slanted lines here and then put young and then pine, since these two words modify the word trees. Now, how about in grow quite fast? What modify the word grow? Now you have to put slanted lines below the word grow, since fast modify the word grow. How about quite? What words does it modify? The word quite modifies the word fast. This is a degree word that modifies the word fast. So you will put another slanted line directly below the word fast. Now, how about diagramming direct object? Okay, we have the pattern STVDO, or subject, transitive verb, and direct object. To diagram direct objects, you have to draw, of course, a vertical line directly beside the verb that does not go through the horizontal line. For example, in this sentence, Arya ate chocolates. You have to identify first the subject and the predicate, which is Arya is the subject, ate chocolates is the predicate. Now put Arya on the left side and ate on the right side, ate chocolates on the right side. put horizontal line here and put a vertical line to divide the subject and the predicate here. Now, since there is a direct object, which is the chocolates, you have to put another vertical line in between the verb and the direct object, but it should not go through the horizontal line. Next, diagramming indirect object. To diagram indirect objects, follow the diagram based on STVDO, then draw a parallel line and a slanting line connecting it to the verb. Remember, this is the STVDO diagram. You just have to do this diagramming. Now, for example, Mariel gave Dave chocolates. Let's identify first the subject and the predicate, which is Mariel is the subject, give Dave chocolates is the predicate. Now, Mariel will be put here since this is the subject, and gave Dave chocolates here on the right side. Now, the verb or the transitive verb will be placed here, and the direct object is the chocolates, so it will be put here. You have to put, remember, you have to put another vertical line that does not go through a horizontal line to identify the direct object in the sentence. Now, there is an indirect object on the sentence. Now, where will you put the indirect object in the diagram? You have to draw a parallel line and a slanting line connecting it to the verb. Since Dave is a direct object, sorry, but this should be in capital letter. Since Dave is the indirect object, you have to put a slanting line and a parallel line under the word or the verb gave. Now, how to diagram subject or object complements. Remember, subject complements are either nouns, pronouns, or typographical error. Pronouns or adjectives that describe the subject. They follow through a linking verb. Remember the pattern S, LVSC. And object complements are usually nouns or adjectives that renames a direct object. The pattern would be S, TV, DO, OC. Now, to diagram an SLVSC pattern, you have to draw an horizontal line and a vertical line followed by a slanting line that does not cross the horizontal line. For example, I am a teacher. Now, let's first identify the subject and the predicate. The subject would be I, and the predicate is am a teacher. Now, the subject will be put on the left side, and am a teacher is put on the right side, and you have to place, of course, the vertical line. Now, where is the verb? The linking verb is the word am, so it will be placed here, am. Now, what is the subject complement? Is it the A or the teacher? Of course, it is the teacher. Now, you have to put the teacher beside the linking verb, and you have to put a slanting line in between. And how about the A or the article? It will be put under. Now, how about the STVDOOC or the subject, transitive verb, direct object complement pattern? You just have to follow the subject, transitive verb, direct object diagram, then draw a slanting line after the direct object. For example, I consider her my friend. Now let's first identify the subject and the predicate. I is the subject and the predicate is consider her my friend. You have to put I or the subject here on the left side and the predicate, which is the consider, on the right side, along with her my friend. Now put a vertical line to divide the subject and the predicate, and put a vertical line, since what that is what we discussed on the STVDO diagram. You have to put another vertical line that does not go through the horizontal line to divide the verb and the direct object, which is her. Now there is an object complement, which is the word friend. Now, you just have to draw a slanting line after the direct object. Okay? This is the direct object, the her, and the object complement is the friend. Now, you have to put a slanting line between her and the object complement friend. Now, remember, my is a determiner, so it will be placed under friend. Now, how to diagram a prepositional phrase. To diagram prepositional phrase, draw slanting lines that cross the parallel line where you will put the object of the preposition. For example, Jay listened on the radio. Of course, Jay is the subject and listen on the radio is the predicate. Jay will be put on the left side and listen on the radio will be put on the right side, but it should not be written straight horizontally. Don't forget to put the vertical line here to divide the subject and the predicate. But where will we put the preposition and the object of the preposition? You have to draw a slanting lines that cross the parallel line where you will put the object of the preposition. The object of the preposition is the radio and the preposition is on. Now, you have to put a slanting lines that cross the parallel line where you will put the object of the preposition on the parallel line, which is the radio, and this is the preposition on. Now, the word the would be under the object of the preposition, which is radio, because this is an article or a determiner of the word radio. So that's it. I hope you understand how to diagram a sentences using three diagram structure and the Reed-Kellogg diagram. Thank you for listening.